Today's wellness news you can use is brought to you by Fairbanks Art of Plastic Surgery. And welcome back to the show. Thanks for humoring me on the travel. Let's talk about maintaining youth.
So maintaining youth is something that we have been talking on the show a lot about. People who are having facelifts too young, people who are using too much fillers. This has been a hot topic of conversation for us and many people out there, but today I have a different spin.
Wait. Let's talk about women.
Oh dear.
Who enlarged their lips they look like they were filling a tire and were talking to the...
Yeah, that's bad.
How do women do it, Are they delusional?
In a right way. Well, a correct way to go about filler would be to, number one, be sure you pick someone who is very skilled in it, and they didn't. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. They didn't just get
So a chiropractor would not be the ideal person?
Right. A chiropractor who took something overnight, or an MD that was an orthodontist that decided they wanted to do breast aug.
Well,
you want to do your research.
Holly, dentists don't do breast augmentation.
I know you still don't believe me, but they do. It was on Botched. We talked about it before. It's crazy. So you have to do your research.
A public service announcement from Talk 365 TV. Do not go to a chiropractor for breast augmentation.
Or any
augmentation. An electrician, a plumber.
Right.
Okay.
For the most part, you need to do your research.
This is the type of information that we provide on this show.
And we're good at it. You need to do your research, and you need to go to a board-certified plastic surgeon, and Dr. Grant A. Fairbanks is just that. Now, he doesn't just do cosmetic procedures for the sake of keeping you looking young and feeling young, or whatever, body sculpting and all of that sort of thing, although that is his specialty. Form and function is one and the same. I mean, Fairbanks Art of Plastic Surgery is internationally known. So not only is form and function, but I was going to talk about cancer and lesion repair and all of those things that happen as we age. And you may want to have a surgeon in your back pocket that you know and you trust for those type of situations. Well, Bruce is a guy that met Dr. Fairbanks because they lived in the same neighborhood. And he ended up having not only cancer issues, but then he had a blepharoplasty surgery because he couldn't see. So that's where the hoods of your eyes start to come down to the point where it starts to impair your vision. These are all things that begin to turn into reasons that you need a cosmetic surgeon that maybe you didn't always plan on. And he's here to tell you all about why he chose board-certified Grant A. Fairbanks and Fairbanks Art of Plastic Surgery.
Talk 365 TV's Wellness Minute is brought to you by wellness team expert Dr. Grant A. Fairbanks.
I don't have enough good to say about Dr. Fairbanks and his staff. They just really care, and he is truly not just a good surgeon, but he's an artist, and you can tell by the work that he does just how good he is. My name is Bruce, and I am a computer scientist. I work for the Air Force. I moved into the Morgan area about 8 years ago, and about the same time, Dr. Fairbanks moved in. So we met within the first week or two of us both moving into that area. And we met and became friends very quickly, and I was very impressed with him in terms of his artistic skills, but also the warm and compassionate aspect of him and his family. And I had a growth on my ear, my outer ear, that was fairly painful. And so I asked Dr. Fairbanks about it, and he said, yeah, come on into the office. And he operated on it and removed this benign growth, but it was fairly painful. And I was amazed after the surgery and everything's healed up, and I was looking at the ear and going, this one looks better than my other ear, which I thought was quite impressive. A couple of years later, I was noticing that my eyelids were obstructing my vision. So I went to Dr. Fairbanks again, and he did a blepharoplasty, and he also did a brow lift because they needed to pull more skin up to clear my vision. And after the things healed, all of a sudden I'm starting to notice that, wow, I can see the ceiling. I can see so much more than I've seen before. And it was like, that was really, really great. Dr. Fairbanks also was just really good about making sure that the scars were very well hidden. You know, to this day, I don't know where the Blepharoplasty incisions are. I can't see them. But, you know, I have a scar across my head, you know, from that, and it's just so well hidden. A couple of years later, I developed cancer, gastro, stomach, esophageal cancer. And so as part of the treatment, I was put on chemotherapy, and I lost all of my hair. And I can remember being in the hospital after a surgery and talking to the nurses and the doctors, and they were completely unaware. Nobody could spot the scar on my head, being completely bald. And you know, it was only until I could, you know, point out exactly where that scar was that they, oh yeah, now I can see it. But I really think that that's just amazing, the level of skill that he has to hide scars like that. I've also been very impressed with his bedside manner. He just absolutely cares about his patients. I've referred him to a number of people. I've got several family members that have had nose jobs, you know, from him, and those have proven to be extremely beneficial. It's eliminated the snoring, and they sleep better, and everybody has been very pleased with that outcome. I don't have enough good to say about Dr. Fairbanks and his staff. They just really care, and you know, he is truly not just a good surgeon, but he's an artist, and you can tell by the work that he does just how good he is. When I went into Dr. Fairbanks, pretty much each time, but I'll comment more so on the Blepharoplasty, if I'm pronouncing that right, and the brow lift. You know, I went in and he spent a lot of time going over exactly what he was going to do so that there were no surprises. What I thought was really cool was I'm sitting in, you know, in his the procedure room, and he's describing what's going to go on, and he whips out a pen and he grabs a piece of the tissue paper off the table, and he says, "Here, let me show you what we're going to do." And he starts drawing, you know, my head and the eyes, and it's like I'm looking at this and going, "Wow, this guy is a real artist." I'm good doing stick figures, and you know, and his pictures or drawings were just very, very realistic. And then I started realizing after time that, you know, the man does paintings, he does sculptures, he teaches art to other surgeons. Just very, very unique talents. And it was really nice to be able to get a sense of what he was wanting to do to correct my problem, and really kind of set me at ease, knowing that, you know, I had a very skilled surgeon and who was also a great artist.